Got a special guest on the phone, Manny Silva. Good night. How you doing, sir?
Good night. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you on the radio, man.
I'm just happy to be here.
So you're running for city council.
I'm running for city council in District 31. That's Rosedale, Rockaway, Laurelton, Springfield Gardens.
Now, when you include Rockaway, and let me start with Rockaway because Rockaway has been filled with a lot of problems, right? We had the flood, we had that. Now, I understand there's a swampy area in Rockaway, a lot of water there, a lot of incest there. What's going on with that part of Rockaway, and what should be done to make sure that we get rid of the swamp area and we get rid of the infectious flies and stuff like that?
The problem is that the city has to start caring about Rockaway a little more and the people that live here in order for that to happen. There are some real things we can do to get rid of the insects. Mm-hmm. The swamp is protected by the federal government, and that's the bay. But Rockaway is surrounded by water all over the place, and we are sinking. So we have to start thinking more innovatively, start building up, and start using mosquito magnets and different magnets to kill the bugs without using chemicals.
Mm-hmm. So I know that in your illustrious career, you're pretty young, but you've had an illustrious career. FEMA hired you to help organize and put together the relief project that happened in Rockaway. Am I correct?
So right after Sandy, I went in FEMA, did congressional affairs. So it was my job to make sure that our people were getting as much as they could from the government through the congressional offices.
Mm-hmm. So based on that experience, let's get this. Based on that experience that you had working with FEMA, what do you think that you would lend now? Now we're trying to get people vaccinated, and people of color don't want to take the vaccinations, and we've had the scenario that has brought some people apart from each other because of what has happened. Now, how would you bring your knowledge of working with FEMA to make sure that these people in your areas, in your districts, are getting the right amount of vaccines, are getting the things that they need to fight COVID-19?
Mm-hmm. It's all about the people at the top, making sure the people at the top care about the people everywhere. And we, as far as what you said, a lot of people don't want to take the vaccine. So we need those people that are supposed to be our leaders to show us as an example that they're taking the vaccine and promote it over and over and over. Because it is a scary thing. The vaccine just came brand new. And we need to get more vaccines out here. But in order to make that happen, we also need that leadership to yell about it, make some noise. People that make noise get what they want.
Got to make some noise.
Yep. And
what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say also, what we got to continue to do is build people power. We have to empower our people. So if our leadership is not making noise, we're making noise.
Caribbean Fever 107.5 WBLS. We've got Manny Silva on the phone. He's running for city council. Dahved Levy rocking you. Manny, let's talk about marijuana and the legalization of marijuana, whether it's for medicinal purposes or not. Where do you stand on that?
So marijuana should have been legalized a long time ago. And the fact that it hasn't been legalized means that we have a lot more work to do to make sure that when it does get legalized, everybody's prepared, and especially people in our communities, especially Southeast Queens, for the government to make up for its mistakes with marijuana.
So what do you mean by that? Now, you've got a bunch of people who were locked up wrongfully for maybe a joint or whatever. Now we're going to get the legalization of marijuana, and these people who have been dealing in the marijuana business for years now will not be part of it. The big conglomerates will be part of it. How do you shift that together?
Well, exactly. That's the issue. That's what we need to make sure doesn't happen. We need to make sure that the people that are in jail for something like marijuana, you think about it, obviously anybody that made it illegal never used marijuana because they treat it like it's just as bad as a violent crime to even smoke marijuana. So not only do we need to expunge people's records, but we need to set people up, because when you get put into the institution or get institutionalized, your whole life is changed. And we need to change people's lives for the better. Government put us in this situation. Government should get us out of the situation. And I think that's on every level.
Manny, what's your background, Manny? What's your background?
I am Haitian and Dominican.
Ah,
and
Manny.
my wife is Jamaican.
That's an interesting scenario there, Manny. Now, I was listening to Cardi B. I couldn't understand what the hell she was saying, but she was talking about something going on between Dominican Republic and Haiti, where the people in DR didn't respect the people in Haiti, and there was a constant fight. Mm-hmm. And she was fighting that the Dominicans should have a little bit more compassion for the people in Haiti. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what's crazy? What's crazy is I grew up with my Haitian family, but I resemble my Dominican family more because I'm a lighter skin tone. Mm-hmm. But how I feel is it's ridiculous. It's colorism. It is classism, and they're on the same island. You should be building each other up. We're fighting the same enemy. You should be building each other up, and that's how it is in so many different places. Mm-hmm. In Southeast Queens, we should be working together and building each other up. We're all fighting the same enemy, but unfortunately, we keep trying to tear each other down so we could do better on our half of the island.
Wow, man, Manny, you know, it is crazy, but that happens throughout all kinds of different people. You've got the Africans and the Black Americans. Mm-hmm. You've got the Caribbeans and the Black, mm-hmm. and some, for some reason, it feels like some outsiders come to pull us apart. United we stand, and divided we fall.
They've been pulling us apart for centuries, mm-hmm. and now we have an opportunity we have everything at our fingertips with Google. We can study this. We can watch what they've done, and we have an opportunity to come together, build each other up, empower each other, educate each other, and then build a better future for everyone.
Manny, the position that you're running to hold, why should people vote for you? Why should we come out and put our X's next to your name? Why should we?
Well, what I'm doing is what our campaign is doing is we are driven by the people to empower the people. We can start on day one, and we are going to change the way politics is done. We're going to have more transparency. Politics all around our city needs to change. And our city right now, too often we've been settling for crumbs, but there's a whole roti on the table, and we're going to get it. So,
you said the whole roti? You said the whole roti on the table?
Yeah. There's a whole roti, and we're getting crumbs. So we can't stand for that anymore.
Well, man, listen.
And that's what I'm doing.
Anything you want to say to our audience? Listen, we got a very diverse audience here: Caribbean people, mm-hmm. African American, all continental Africa.
Yeah. So right now, I'm running for city council. It goes way beyond that. We have to start waking up and working together to build something even better. We have to start seeing through the fakeness that's in politics, because politics controls every part of our life. And what your show represents is what we are out here in District 31, the whole diaspora. And it doesn't matter what color you are, colorism can't exist. We got to build together.
Has there been any effect negatively or positively from what just happened with Donald Trump and all the things that happened on the Capitol? Do you feel any positive effects or negative effects from what happened 2 weeks ago?
So as far as negative effects, it's not even negative. We knew that these people weren't going to get in trouble. We knew that they get empowered, white supremacists. Our systems are built to empower white supremacists. But I'm also seeing a lot of people in our communities wake up and start to understand that this is crazy. We have our young people going to jail for a joint, and these people broke into the Capitol, stole Nancy Pelosi's stuff, trashed our U.S. Capitol, and they're getting a slap on the wrist, while our people's lives are completely turned upside down. So we're seeing a lot come out of that, but I'm not seeing enough. I'm not seeing enough people start organizing and enough people start coming together and saying, you know what? We got to change this system. We need some real change, and it's only going to happen if we build each other up.
Okay, well, Manny, man, listen, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for rocking with us. You got the last word, Manny. You got the last word. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me, and keep rocking, keep rocking us. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much, Manny. Caribbean Fever 107.5 WBLS. Dahved Levy rocking you. You just heard from Manny Silva, running for City Council. Caribbean Fever 107.5 WBLS.